What's going on, everybody? I just wanted to do a quick video on contest prep, how it's going. So far, it's been a while since I've uploaded an actual video to YouTube to provide that update. Honestly, until these last few weeks has been pretty consistent with my drops in weight. My macros have pretty much stayed the same, but for me personally, these last couple weeks, my macros have been adjusted, my cardio got switched up, and now that I'm at that point where I'm in the 160s for weight, things have definitely, it's been harder and harder to gain some momentum around the loss. But currently I'm at 13, 15, and 16 weeks out from stepping on stage. So already almost a good 19 weeks into prep already. It's gone by so quickly with my wife and I moving into our new place, the whole move at the beginning of my prep, and then the holidays. I mean, things went by super quickly, a lot more quicker than I expected this go around for prep, because this is the longest time I've prepped. I mean, taking 36 weeks to prep for all my shows, it's kind of daunting to think that's quite a bit of time. That's almost like 9 months of prepping. But honestly, I think this has been one of the best preps so far, because I was completely honest and realistic with how I was going to approach prep, and I was in the right mindset. I had the conversation with my coaches that, hey, I want to start early, and there's no hurting starting early, because it gives me the time to continue to make progress in a slow and steady pace, a lot less stressful for me, manageable, as I'm making my way through prep. And with these last couple of weeks, my weight has come down, whittled down. This past week I was actually doing a deload week at the training, and I did 3 days of training, and I did 5 days of missed cardio for 20 minutes, keeping my heart rate around 130 beats per minute. And I was feeling really good heading into this week. And my macros last week did get changed. It was 200 grams of protein, 175 grams of carb, and 70 grams of fat. So my fats got adjusted by 10 grams, and my weight went down by like a pound with this past week. So my macros got adjusted again this past Tuesday in check-ins, and it dropped down to 150 grams of carbs. So 100 calories, so I'm about 2,000 and I think 20 calories, or 2,030 calories, something like that. And I will say that fatigue hasn't necessarily hit me so much. I get occasional low energy, but it's more the hunger. I started off at a 6 out of 10 the last couple weeks, but then boom, the adjustments, it's 7.5 out of 10. So I'm gonna have to be a lot more strategic in how I place my meals, what's consistent in those meals, so that way I'm not necessarily feeling really hungry. So I'm really gonna gravitate towards more volume. And I think one of the staples that I've had so far in my preps is cauliflower rice, cauliflower mashed potatoes, because that just gives me so much more volume versus having servings of ice cream, or it just doesn't make sense for me. For me, I would prefer to be full and to be able to perform in the gym. That's my biggest thing, is if I have the fuel to perform in the gym, to hit my lifts, everything else, I don't need to have those extras. But I know as I continue to have lowered macros, I'm gonna have to kind of be a lot more strategic with volume. And so I have been using cauliflower rice, I've been using like popcorn, you know, and I've been using oatmeal, cream of rice, and cream of wheat. I mean, these things are very voluminous for me, and a lot of like this non-starchy veggies, spinach, you know, making huge salads. These things at least fill my stomach a lot more than something that's just like, you know, ice cream, or I hate to say it, but Sour Patch Kids. I mean, I do include those sometimes, but once again, it comes down to I want to feel full, and I want to be able to make progress in the gym. I want to be able to keep up with as much intensity, as much volume as possible, because that's what got me the muscle that I gained in my building phase. 18 months away from the stage, that was my main focus, was to gain some new muscle tissue and hold on to as much as possible through a prep. And another reason why I took a longer approach to the stage, just so that I could take that on. But yeah, having a deload last week really did help bring the fatigue down so that my fitness and performance can go back up. And now this week, you know, training has been going super well. I think all my RPEs have been in like the sevens, the 7.5s, when it comes down to my lifts. So my squats so far, I did like 270 or 265, 3 sets by 6 reps on Monday. And then I did deadlifts. I did 370, 3 sets by 6. And then I did overhead presses, 3 sets of 125 by 6. And then bench was 200 pounds, 3 by 6. Everything felt great. I will say that my upper body is getting weaker. And that's just what happens for me personally. I just can't sustain a lot of my my upper body strength, but I'm trying to be really patient when I'm resting in between my sets. But I will say that mindset plays a huge role when it comes down to contest prep. You know, at this point, yeah, food's gonna get lowered, training is gonna get a little bit more challenging, but it really comes down to how strong your mindset is. So I really do take time to reset, refocus every time I have to go in for a lift, between sets, you know, and really take that moment to really hit it hard, and you know, make sure that my mindset is clear, so that I can continue to perform. And so right now, I'd say that's the biggest things is hunger is definitely coming up. But that's part of the game. I asked my coach this past check-in, I'm like, do you think I'm on course, on track? And he's like, yep, this is where we're at. Things are looking smooth as long as we continue to see consistent drops week to week. And we're trying to be even a little bit ahead of the game. So that's why there's been constant changes to my macros, so I don't have to continue to just stress out towards the end trying to be aggressive. Right now I'm still feeling really good, outside of the fact that hunger is apparent, but performance is going well, and in the gym, so that seems to be not hindered. And then my coach did say that you know that this is part of the game, that poverty macros will be coming, and I'm like, bring it. You know, I'm at the point where when I headed into prep, I knew that for me personally, I have to get really low for my macros to actually initiate change. My body seems to adapt really well every time there's an adjustment. Like, my adjustments don't last very long. They're like a couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks at most before there's an adjustment. But for the last few weeks, it's been like week to week, a new change for my macros. And it's interesting because I did get my RMR check recently, and I did like a 12-hour fast before getting that breathing test, the RMR, and it was still, 2,700 calories, just my RMR. And my VO2 max, which was more exciting, was I started off at like a 23 or something, and it's at 43 now. So it actually jumped up like 20 points since I last took it in September. And that's pretty exciting just because I really did absolutely no cardio during my building phase, and now that I've been doing it consistently within my prep, it's already been bumped up. So my cardiovascular fitness has been like really increased, which is surprising, to be honest with you, because during prep, I feel like my fitness isn't as great, but it's good to see that how I'm approaching it now with my coaches, Roger and Allie Baker, with RAP Fitness, that I'm making gains, I'm making progress still in the gym, but also in my cardio world. And it could just be the fact that I'm actually doing stuff now. So before, my cardio was like 3 sessions of HIIT for 15 minutes, and 3 sessions of HIIT, but then I went up to 4 sessions of HIIT, 10 minutes, and then the last few weeks it was like 3 sessions of miss for 20 minutes, keeping my heart rate around 130 beats per minute. It went up to 4 sessions last couple weeks of miss, 20 minutes, 130 beats per minute. And those are easy breezy, man. Like that's a cakewalk when it comes down to cardio. In years previous, when I was like not knowing what the heck to do, I was doing like hours of cardio each day, like 6 days a week. But now, 4 days of 20-minute sessions. I'm doing like 120 minutes of I'm doing an hour and 20 minutes of cardio every week now, and it's very sustainable. It leaves me the opportunity to continue to perform in the gym, where it's not taking away from that, and it's just allowing me to have better balance when it comes down to it. But right now, that's basically how everything's going, guys. Training is going well. Weight loss, the rate of loss is still going well. Adjustments to macros, part of the game. When it comes down to making progress, you got to eat less. You got to eat less or create a deficit in how you perform in the gym and cardio. So I'm getting a good blend, but I know that the poverty macros are coming. But other than that, things are going good. If there's any questions, comments, by all means, leave them in the comments below. But I appreciate all the support that I have been getting throughout this prep. That's probably the biggest thing, is how much support I have backing me, with friends sending me messages, getting calls, texts, my wife, always there, and my coach is super supportive. You have to have a strong support system and to continue to make progress. It doesn't have to be a individual sport. So other than that, thanks for checking in.